Hi, I'm Cassie, and I'm going to walk you through question 30 of the AAMC's official physics question pack. So this is the first question associated with passage 5 of the question pack, and passage 5 is all about capacitors and electrical circuits. So we're going to walk through some really important concepts in these next few questions. This question is asking, what happens if we inject a charged particle with a certain speed between the plates of a capacitor? And specifically, it wants to know about that speed. What happens if we double the speed of that charged particle that's put between the plates of the capacitor? This is like a classic MCAT question where they want you to A, be able to come up with a relevant equation, and B, understand how changing variables in that equation changes the total value of the equation. So in this case, what kinds of variables do you think we're working with? Well, the question is talking about electrical force and speed, right? The effect of speed on electrical force. So can we think of any equations that relate those two quantities directly? Actually, no, I can't off the top of my head think of any equations I need to know for the MCAT that directly relate those two things. So instead of that, I'm going to just think about what equations I know for electrical force, since that's the thing we want to determine the effect on. So the first equation that comes to mind that I know you need to memorize for the MCAT is that of the strength of electrical fields. So remember, the electrical field we denote as a capital E, so that's the strength of the electrical field, is equal to the force, so F sub E, the electrical force, felt by a test charge placed in that electrical field. And remember, that charge we're going to call Q. So now if I solve this equation for electrical force, I'm going to get my electrical force is equal to my electrical field by my charge, Q. So what are the two variables that are going to change the electrical force? Well, it's going to be the strength of our electrical field here, our capital E, and it's also going to be the charge of our particle, our Q. Notice that speed or velocity is not in this equation anywhere. So the speed or velocity of the particle is irrelevant for the electrical force felt by the particle. So our answer here is going to be B. Our electrical force is not going to be affected by a change in speed. Be on the lookout for this type of question on the MCAT. It's pretty common where they might ask you about a variable that actually has nothing to do with the quantity you're trying to measure. So it's sort of a trick question in that sense. So you have to really know your equations well for the MCAT so you can quickly bring them to mind and manipulate them and solve for the relevant quantity and think about what variables are involved. So I hope this helps. If this helps, give it a like and follow my channel for more content like this.